right, guys. We before we get going here, I think hats off to South Florida. You know, Jeff's got a good football team, and certainly they had a great plan tonight. I thought offensively, in particular, played well. They got the transfer quarterback, a handful of skill players. They blocked us well. They gave us some unique concepts. So a ton of respect for what Jeff's building. Obviously, a good friend of mine. So we made it hard, but I'll tell you what, a lot of that had to do with South Florida, right, and their execution. So always good to win, you know, and I'm very thankful for our fans and the environment they created. It was awesome in there again tonight. I think we're just a couple hundred tickets away from selling it out again. So they continue to affect the game, right? And I know our team and everybody in our organization are certainly thankful for that. We can't express our gratitude enough. But you know, I'm proud of the team and the fight that they show. You know, this is a group that has showed that they're going to stick together. They're going to play through adversity. They're going to have each other's back and do enough, right? I think offense, defense, and special teams. So something about these one-score games, right? But thankful to win, you know, and I told the players that. I think this game, I don't think people really understand how much work goes into it, you know, from our players, from our staff, you know, and anytime you win a football game, you know, I think there's a place to celebrate that. We're certainly going to do that tonight. We got a lot of work to do. That's very obvious, but credit to our team and staff for sticking together and finding a way to win. What questions do we have?
Coach, on Anthony's second interception down at the goal line, did you call that play the fade, or was that something that he checked into?
No, it's a run play with a individual cut option, right? They loaded the box up. He had one-on-one coverage over there. He made a decision to throw it. I have no issue with the decision that he made to throw it. It's how he threw it, right? And, you know, he tried to throw a back shoulder fade when that wasn't what was required, right? So, simple play, got to be executed better, right? Certainly part of Anthony's growth as a player, right? You know, you play that position, we put the ball in his hands and ask him to do a lot. He's going to make some mistakes and certainly can throw that one better.
Hey, Billy. They had a lot of success running against you all, especially in the first half. What did you see from that? What do you attribute that to?
I think it was really good design, right? They involved the quarterback in the read game, some really unique stuff, some things maybe we hadn't seen on film. But I do think that we're in good calls, right? I think it's more about execution. First, second, third level, being on the same page. You know, I'm pretty confident when we go watch the tape, we're going to see one player maybe not doing what they're supposed to do, right? So when you involve the quarterback in the read game, right, causes you to be assignment sound. There were times we're out of a gap out there. So I thought we addressed those things at halftime and really kind of fixed those issues in the second half, which was great to see.
Kevin?
Yeah, just to follow up on that point. So you were concerned about Ventrell being out with the communication. I mean, did that factor into some of the gap problems, or what were your thoughts there?
You know, I think I'll be able to tell you more when we watch the tape, but I'll say this. I think that group, you know, competed in the game and played in the game. You know, you got a guy like Scooby out there, Shamar, both of which are young players with minimal experience that played a big role in the game and certainly made some critical stops at times. So, you know, Ventrell, I don't know that you replace Ventrell Miller, right? His leadership, his ability to communicate, and his production, there's a lot there. But two good young players to go with Amari Burney that really put it out there and competed tonight.
And then to follow up, the turnovers on defense on your end, the ability to generate those plays, how big was that in the outcome?
Well, it's the difference in the game, you know, ultimately. So, you know, you talk about a pick six, you talk about an interception on a short field there, the possession where we took the lead. You know, turnovers are going to be critical every week. They were critical in week one, they were critical in week two, and they were critical tonight. So we need to take care of the ball better. We threw it to the other team twice tonight, both of which are very correctable. But, you know, credit our defense. They affected the quarterback and We knocked it off of them in the first possession, and then we made them throw it to us twice. So, and those are takeaways, and I think it's a big part of playing good defense.
Billy, they did a good job of boxing in Anthony. Was his reluctance to run because of the way they were defending, or was he just is he still just a little bit reluctant to take off and go?
No, I think he made a few plays, a few first downs with his feet in the game. There was a couple, too, in particular early where he made first downs with his feet. So, I think I'll be able to give you a little bit better information when I watch the tape. But, when a guy's going through his progression, at times there's a place for pulling it down and running. Sometimes they give you that opportunity, and sometimes they keep you in the pocket. I think they did a little bit of both at times. They gave him opportunities, and he made some plays with his feet, and then there were times that he couldn't.
Coach, you had 3 different running backs find the end zone tonight. Naquan got his first touchdown of the season tonight. How would you evaluate your offense's rushing production tonight with all 3 backs?
Well, I thought we rushed the ball really well, and I thought the guys up front did a good job. We communicated well. We covered them up. We got it to the second level quite a bit. The one run that Montrell had for the big touchdown, people don't realize this, but Anthony checked that play. It was a great decision on his part based off the defensive look, and led to a big play there. So, when you rush the ball effectively, it's not just the front guys, it's not just the back. I mean, the tight end's got to do a great job on the edges. The receivers got to do a good job outside blocking for us, and really the quarterback is contributing to that, much like Anthony did throughout the game.
And then Austin Barber making the start tonight in place for Michael Tarquin. How do you think that he did tonight? I mean, he had a big block on the edge a few times, especially on Montrell's touchdown run. How would you evaluate his start tonight?
Austin's one of the players that we've had confidence in. He's worked, he's earned it. We view him as a guy that we can put in the game and depend on. He's got great attitude, great work ethic is very important to him. And he's got good tools for a young player, right? So I think Austin's one of these guys that you can build around going forward. It's certainly good to see him step up, outside of the early penalty there. I thought he did a good job throughout.
You guys had the impressive first win, and everybody was giving rave reviews. Then last week, you played a tough team, and we played them tough. Now, all due respect to USF, they weren't considered a really high-quality opponent. Just the trajectory of this team, big picture. How do you see the improvement, and what are you pleased with it? Or at this point, it doesn't seem like there's much. The trajectory doesn't seem exactly where you want it to go.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to tell you, the South Florida team that I watched tonight, I think is a high-quality team. So I think that's, I don't know that I agree with you. Okay, the team we played tonight showed up and executed pretty well, right? They were coached well, good design, good handful of skilled players. They blocked us, made it hard on us at times. So, I don't think you can get caught up into that, right? I mean, I don't care who they played or who we played, right? The Gators played South Florida tonight. We did enough to win. Right? And that's a credit to our players for sticking together, for competing through the adversity in the game. They made mistakes, we made mistakes, but we made enough plays to win. So I don't think I know that sometimes that's part of the profession, but in our world, I don't really care about who they played or what their record is or what the outside world thinks about it. Right? We beat South Florida tonight. And I think they got a good football team. I think we'll see as time goes there that they're going to continue to be a factor in their conference. So, I think that what we're learning about our team is that we've got the intangibles. We need to improve execution, and certainly did enough to win tonight. But we got work to do. Nobody's been hiding around that, right? I think each week we've stood up here and said, "Look, hey, we stood up here and we won week 1. We said, hey, we've got work to do." Right? We said it on Monday, we said it on Wednesday the next week. Okay, so, I think I feel the same way. That's what I would say. I feel the same way. We're 2-1, but we got work to do, right? And I think football is a sport and a team game where you're always a work in progress. right? If you're undefeated and everybody's patting you on the back, then you got work to do to resolve that. If you struggle a little bit and you found ways to win, you got issues to resolve that, right? The work is not going away. So I appreciate your comment, but I don't know that I agree with you. I think Jeff Scott's team played pretty good football tonight.
Second week in a row that Anthony's had 2 interceptions. What do you tell him when he comes back to the sideline at that point to make sure his confidence stays up?
Well, you try to keep it technical, right? I think that it's important that he has a process and that he understands what happened and why it happened, right? And the good thing is he does, right? So, I think Anthony is a guy who's in a new system. He's a guy who started his 3rd game tonight, and he made a lot of good plays out there tonight, but there were plays that he made mistakes on, right? Much like every player, So I think that you try to create an environment where the guy can learn, right? He can continue to develop and grow as a player. No matter what you say in a practice environment, okay, when you make mistakes in a game setting, when you have success in a game setting, that becomes more real to you, right? You live and learn from those experiences. So I think Anthony will continue to grow as a player.
He's been noticeably hobbling a bit in these past 2 games. Is there anything with his lower body that might be limiting him whatsoever?
Not that I know of.
We'll close with Zach Alberti in the back.
Coach, what did you think of Des Watson's play tonight, and how critical was him coming along been for the defensive line?
I think Des is a guy I'm really proud of. Des is a guy, and I think his teammates are proud of him. In particular, I would say late summer until now, right? The guy's made a wholesale change in his approach to life. He's learning discipline. He's learning good habits. He's lost close to 40 pounds, right? He lost another chunk of weight this week, and it's affecting his play. He's not only playing good football, but he's walking around with a smile on his face, right? I think he's making progress as a person, and I think losing the weight's helped him be a more effective contributor to the team. So, Des can be a weapon for our team. I really believe that. I think it's great to see him learning some things about himself and life through the game, right? And he made some critical plays in there tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you all.
Let me know when you guys are good in the back. All right, guys, we're joined by Anthony Richardson. Start with questions. Nick? Can you take me through that read on the second interception? Billy said you obviously you had the right to check into that pass, and then they kind of stacked the box. So just what's going through your mind as you're reading the defense?
We were gassing them, down the field. So the call, it was, one-on-one shot to the receiver or keep the run play on. And I seen Shorter out there, and I trusted him. I just didn't give him a chance to make a play on the ball, and the DB made a better play. So that was pretty much what happened. I just got to give my guy a better chance to attack the ball and score.
And how much have you learned this playbook to kind of give Billy the confidence in you to make checks? Like he said, you checked into the long touchdown run for Montreal. And how comfortable do you feel your knowledge is reading the defense and checking into plays?
I feel like I'm growing, honestly. Just knowing what the defense is about to do and knowing what we want to do according to that defense. We were talking about that all week, talked about it earlier today. They did this, we want to check to this. And I was talking to Montreal. He said he was happy I checked into it because he saw himself. So just being able to, know the offense a little bit and just recognize the coverage a little bit, it helps when you're trying to make plays.
We'll go to Zach Alberti.
Sticking with the run game, Anthony, how do you feel like that production was tonight? You know, kind of from that three-headed monster you guys got.
I feel like it definitely saved us. You know, couldn't really do much in the air. You know, that's fallbacks on me and not giving my guys a chance to get the ball. But the O-line and the running backs, they're saving us, and I'm glad that we can count on them when the time does come.
You got off to a good start. You were 7-9 in the first half. What changed at halftime in the third quarter? What adjustments did they make, or was it your performance? Or how would you evaluate the second half?
They didn't really change much. You know, they kept their defense pretty much the same. They were bringing certain pressures, running pretty much the same coverage. You know, it's just me trusting the routes and the combos. You know, trusting the progression and just getting through it a little quicker. You know, I was a little slow on a few plays. Especially the first interception, you know, I should have trusted that pass to Shorter, and I should have threw it to him instead of trying to get back to Ricky late. But you know, it's just I just trusted my own offense.
Real quick, guys, we have Montreal Johnson available in the back as well. Go to Zach Goodall.
Second week in a row that you've kind of been hobbling around at times. Is there anything going on with your ankle or foot at this point that might be limiting you?
Nah, not really limiting me. You know, it's just some plays when you're out there on the field, you're getting banged up. You know, it's football, it happens. You know, try not to show it too much, but sometimes I am in pain. But I just gotta stay in the training room, get treatment, rehab, recover.
Go to Lawrence in the back.
Anthony, what's a conversation like on the key turnover like you had when you tried to hit Justin on the goal line? What's kind of the discussion after once you get to the sideline and kind of work things out?
You know, first we gotta process and understand what happened, why it was an interception. You know, I talked to Coach Napier for like 2 minutes about that. He said it was a good read, but he didn't like the throw. I didn't like the throw myself. Should have threw a better ball. But, you know, we just talk about why it happened, understand why, and just try to move on to the next play.
And is that something like during the week when you're discussing the game plan with your receivers, that you kind of in your head say, if we get this look, this could be a big play for us?
You know, I definitely talk to the receivers and tell them anytime they got a one-on-one matchup, I'm gonna look at them and I trust them to get open. They should trust me to throw them the ball. You know, I didn't give Shorter a good ball today, but you know, got to get back to practice. We'll keep working on that. So when the time does come in the future, we can connect on that.
We have a question in the back.
Last week you kind of came in here and you were saying how you thought your confidence kind of took a hit. After the week we had in tonight's game, where would you say generally your confidence is at?
I'll say it definitely, you know, got back up. You know, feel like I'm getting back to myself. You know, just focusing on football, not focusing on the outside noise. You know, despite the 2 interceptions, you know, I feel like I just got to keep growing as a player, as a person, and just put that in the past. You know, nobody wants to see 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns after the game, but hey, it's football, and I just got to get better.
We'll go to Zach Oliverdi, and then we'll close with Kevin.
And over here.
Oh.
Now you get ready for your first SEC road start, but you've played on the road in the SEC. How much did last year's experience at LSU help you, and just what do you anticipate in trying to deal with the noise and crowd that you'll see at Neyland?
LSU, it did help. You know, just getting used to the crowd going against us and being loud. You know, that's when you got to show up and play ball. Definitely when you're on the road playing the SEC team, you got to show up and play ball and make things happen. You know, so I'm ready for my first career road start, and I'm just ready to see what happens.
Close with Kevin.
Yeah, Anthony, the third quarter, 3 games, no points. Anything to that, or how you guys are coming out at halftime, or is it just kind of a fluky thing, or what do you think is going on after halftime with you guys, with the offense?
We just got to start fast. I feel like we're getting out there and just a little lackadaisical, you know, just coming out of there in the third quarter. We just got to play fast, treat it as if it's the first quarter. You know, get the ball moving, get some blocks, get some passes completed, get some good runs. You know, just play a little faster and a little more physical.
Appreciate it, Anthony. Thanks. We'll have Jalen Kimber. Good in the back. Good. We're joined by Jalen Kimber. We'll open up questions right in front of you.
Jalen, so first off, first career interception is a pick six, and that score turned out to be the difference in tonight's game. What was going through your mind when you caught that pass?
Honestly, just getting in score. I just seen Coach PT really called the best call that he can possibly call for that play. I read it, broke on the ball, and just scored.
And then, not sure if you know this or not, but that was the first pick six by Florida since 2018 in the Peach Bowl. When you hear that stat, I mean, what comes to mind right away?
Obviously, I'm happy about it, but we still got work to do. I just keep my head down, keep working, and just keep improving week by week.
Go to Kevin right here.
We can see the hand brace. I mean, that, I guess, makes it also impressive. How are you able to catch the ball, considering your hand situation right now? And was that an issue at all, or did you feel pretty good?
Well, the day after I broke my hand, I actually learned how to catch with my cast, because it's you kind of see it. It's kind of like a hand already. So I kind of learned how to just catch with it, and it just fell right into my hands when he threw it.
Right to your right.
What was PT's message to you guys after the game, just to the defense in general?
Just keep working. We got a lot of little things to fix up. It wasn't the best game, but we got the dub, and just keep working, keep our head down, and just go to the film room the next day and just fix what we made mistakes, fix our mistakes, really.
We'll go to Zach Oliver.
Jalen, I believe this is the first time we've talked to you since you transferred here. You just take us through the decision to come here and how your transition's been?
I just felt like this was the best place for me. Entering the portal, I just looked at my options. I already had a relationship with Corey Raymond, so I felt like that was the best option for me. I feel like he can just build me as a player, as a corner. Obviously, you guys know his resume already, so I just felt like it was the best decision for me.
Brian's right here.
Talk about the emotions when you see the field goal missed there at the end.
I was just excited he missed it, honestly. Couldn't have been a better ending. Obviously, we didn't want it to end like that or be that close, but we got the dub.
How big were just the takeaways for the whole defense in general? I mean, yours got it started, but Trevez, if he doesn't make that interception, you guys might not get that go-ahead score. Just how big was that for the defense? I know it was an up-and-down game, but be able to get those.
Yeah, obviously it was a big play by Trevez. We really needed that. It was in a positive after he made it, so we just kept trying to build on after that. You know, tips and overthrows, we got to get those as Coach PT preaches. So, yeah, that's what it was.
Coach said that it kind of was clear on film that this is a better team than their record indicated. Was that something you saw throughout the week, and were you surprised out there by their execution?
Yeah, not too much surprise. We don't take any team lightly, but we just got to understand what's ahead of us and just keep working, honestly.
And Trevez's ability to make that interception and get the ball back right after that critical one of Anthony, how huge was that for the defense and a momentum swing in a sense?
It was very big. It was probably one of the biggest plays of the game, honestly. So shout out to Trevez for making that diving interception. It was very clutch, and we needed that.
Any more questions, guys? We'll close with Zach it off. We'll do one in the back.
Yeah, I'm not sure we ever figured out what your injury was from. When did you hurt your hand, and what's that recovery been like?
I heard it like the week before Utah, 3 weeks ago. Honestly, I just wanted to keep playing, keep going out there fighting with my brothers. I didn't want to get surgery and miss any more games because I already missed last season. So I just wanted to keep fighting with my brothers, honestly.
We'll close very back.
Hey, it's your third game in the Swamp today. How has the atmosphere felt like for you on the field as a player coming in as a transfer?
I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the fans. I love the vibe. I love everything about the Swamp. I feel like I couldn't have came to a better place.